On today's episode, we are going to take a look at Skillz. The stock is up another 16%. The CEO did have a quick interview today, and he did mention some things against the short report that just came out for Skillz. We're also going to take a look at some big investment firms that are buying Skillz right now and really driving this stock price up. And at the end, I am going to share some of the risk I believe Skillz has right now. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and make sure to stay tuned here on YouTube where I live stream taking a look at stocks you want me to look at. So let's get started. But before we begin, let's take a listen to today's sponsor. I want to thank the Motley for sponsoring this video. The Motley is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You guys know I love finding new investing tools and resources to help me scout out new growth stocks. And right now I have a discount for one of my favorite services the Fool offers. Through the Motley Fool Stock Advisor services, you get access to a ton of expert stock picks. Every month you'll get 2 new picks that are aimed at growing your wealth and to help you realize your financial goals. Stock Advisor's average stock picks have done amazing returns. If growing your money is something you'd like to do more of this year, you can visit fool.com/Jose Najarro or click on the link below for access to my special offer and decide if the Stock Advisor is right for you. Thanks again to the Motley Fool, and now onto today's video. Alright, so like I mentioned, today we are taking a look at Skillz. This is traded right now under the New York Stock Exchange as ticker SKLZ, and it's currently sitting at $21.16, and it closed at 16.5% up, and the past 5 days have been insane for Skillz, right? We can see it's up 53.56% in the past 5 trading days, but obviously, right, from its all-time highs, the stock is still down about 51%. All right, so first, let's try to just understand a quick recap of why the stock price is down so much. Overall, just a correction that seems that it needed to happen. Early on in February, a lot of these growth stocks pulled up a nice amount, so correction had to come. Another thing is SPACs. These SPAC companies, even though Skillz has already done post-merger, a lot of these SPAC names took even a bigger hit after that growth stock correction. And then to even sweeten the deal, there was a short report on Skillz that made even more investors fearful after everything, right? It was just a perfect storm for Skillz, and the stock pulled back a nice amount, right? From its all-time highs and the all-time lows, the stock was down about 71%. So it lost almost 3/4 of its all-time high prices. All right, so now that we understand why the stock price has dropped, let's try to understand why the stock price is also going up. First, let's take a quick look at some of the points that the CEO made on today's interview. So obviously in today's interview, a lot of the questions were against the short report that came out for Skillz. First, I want to say though, right, even though I don't agree with the short-term report, the short report, obviously, I am currently a shareholder of Skillz. Seeing a report like this on a company I follow kind of now has more eyes focusing on this company, making sure that, hey, are they really being a fraud? Are they really doing accounting mistakes? If so, we really got to keep an eye on them. So it has more eyes, and now I believe the risk of them actually being a fraud, and some firms, right, we saw ARK Investment has come out and said that, hey, the short-term report was pretty much a lie because this company, this research firm doesn't understand how the company works. So now after seeing some other research firms kind of denounce this short-term report, it kind of gives another bullish sentiment to the stock. But now let's take a look at some of the points that the CEO was able to kind of like brush off his shoulder. Right now, Skillz is on a quiet period, so there's not much they can talk about right now. One thing the CEO did say is just wait till earnings. Earnings are May 4th, which is next Tuesday, and all the answers that you guys have are going to be answered. But the first thing they were able to brush off is the NFL contract. Right, so one of the things in the short-term report was that the NFL contract is a big fat lie. And the CEO said, no, the contract is real. This partnership is real with the NFL. One thing I do want to mention is this NFL partnership starts off as a contest. So the first part of the contest is different game developers are going to make games for the NFL, and then the NFL and Skillz are going to choose the top game, and that top game is going to go on their platform. So this NFL game, even though it is happening right now in Q2 is when the contest has begun, there's going to take some time before a winner is chosen and some time before revenue is collected. Another thing they kind of talked about in this short report was the revenue accounting rules. So Skillz right now, they count revenue with money that they offer their players to come play, right? And right now, that obviously that sounds a bit weird, but this is something that has been approved by the SEC because there's a lot of other companies that do it. Ride-sharing apps, for example, ride-sharing apps, when they offer you X amount of money to come take a ride, these food services that, hey, they offer you X amount of dollars for you to come and kind of order from them and stuff like that. This is an SEC approved accounting rules, so there's no fraud happening there. Another point is they mentioned that the top 3 games make a good portion of this company's revenue, and all those games are seeing a decline. Unfortunately, the CEO wasn't able to make a comment on this due to the quiet period, but when he did talk, he seemed very, very excited about earnings, and earnings he believed, just from the overall way he was talking, you can see that there was strong confidence in the numbers. He's pretty much just come check out earnings and you'll see the numbers and they'll really answer your questions. The final point I really want to talk about is they don't believe that earnings will meet guidance, right? Skillz gave us great guidance for this upcoming quarter, and the short report says that there's no way this company can meet that guidance. Unfortunately for that, we will have to wait to see for the earnings report on May 4th, but a lot of investors are pretty bullish. And I do believe now that, like I mentioned, because of this short report, now more investors are keeping an eye on Skillz, and because they have their eyes on Skillz, there is a less chance of fraud. Right now, you have more watchdogs looking at the company. Next, I want to take a quick look at, there's some big investors that had been buying, like ARK investment funds have been buying Skillz. In just the last week, they kind of doubled their shares. They have about 12 million shares in between all their ETFs. And just last week, they added about 6.26. So they increased their total shares by 107%. So ARK investment was really bullish. This is a strong reason why the stock has been moving. I wouldn't be surprised that now with this 16% day that they probably even picked up more shares, kind of really moving the stock price up. Now, one thing I do want to say, I mentioned I was going to talk a bit about the risk, right? The stock right now in the past 5 days has gone up about 53%, and from its low of $12.70, it has actually gone 66%. So congratulations to anybody that was able to pick up on the bottom. But now, right, I think volatility works the both way, and the rubber band works both ways, right? The rubber band, I feel like, pulled the stock price down too quickly. But now the rubber band effect is probably doing the exact same thing the other way, right? So I'm not saying there is going to be a drop, but now with the 65% increase from its all-time highs in just 5 days, the risk of it having another pull down is a bit higher. Remember, as a long-term investment, this volatility should just be noise. It's just noise, right? For me, I wasn't worried when the stock was up at 40 whatever dollars. I will not worry when the stock dropped at $12. I'm not worried while the stock is sitting right now at $21. For me, this volatility is pure noise. But I do want to say, if you have a short-term mindset, you have to remember, hey, it's already gone up 65%. It doesn't mean that's the end of it, right? It can continue to rise, but I do believe the risks are a lot higher, especially after going 65% up in 1 day. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and like always, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to subscribe. Take care, see you next time, and peace out.